that you've joined us to celebrate our 40th anniversary of Penny Hydraulics. But of course it's not the first time that you've been here, is it?
No, I came here 26 years ago when you'd only been going for 14 years to open. I mean, you had been here for some time in Clowne, but 14 years was a significant point. And your grandfather and father were both happily here on that occasion. But I didn't think then I might be asked back 26 years later.
Well,
but
yes.
What's been accomplished is very, very exciting. And I wonder whether your grandfather would realise, would conceivably have imagined that it would have grown not only in amount, revenue, margin, profit, but the array of products that you have, including now the MES lifts, nuclear, which is a long way away from where he started, except for one thing, that the founders of the business, your father and your grandfather, were both very entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial, not just or not mainly in the financial sense, but they liked challenge of things that were difficult.
Yes.
And someone said to me today that your father, if told something couldn't be done, liked that, because he was going to do it.
Precisely.
And there's a lot here, and the thing that strikes me most in some remarks I made earlier, I said that Chesterfield, the greater area of which Clowne is a part, isn't going to have big manufacturing again, and I don't think it will. No, the country won't have much big manufacturing again. But what's interesting about firms like this is nimbleness and the ability to design a product in a quite different way. It's not making a pit prop, which is standard, which your grandfather was servicing or maintaining in his early working life, but actually designing a quite different product to meet the needs of a particular customer. And I think we're moving into a new phase in business and in the world economy probably, where things are not just mass produced, but things are customer centric. And the more customer centric things become, the greater the competitive edge of firms like Penny Hydraulics, family owned, you can take time, you don't have to do it before the next quarter earnings announcement. You're not looking for return on capital this year. You can be patient, because you want to be here in 25 years' time.
That's it. And you hear the word nowadays in manufacturing, agility, quite a lot, agility and flexibility, and I certainly think that that's something that's been a key component to our success to date. And just talking about manufacturing in general, you often hear now, sadly, people saying that manufacturing in the UK is dead and that we don't make things in this country anymore. What would be your response to that?
Well, the first response is a rather pedestrian one. You have to be very, very clear indeed what it is you're talking about, what we're talking about. What is manufacturing? Quite a lot of what's done here is not manufacturing. I mean, it may be the biggest value added of Penny Hydraulics is not manufacturing, but is the CAD/CAM stuff, is the design stuff, saying this is what Magnox or British Nuclear Fuels or whatever need for a particular application, not the manufacturing itself, important as that is. So the first point is, what are we talking about? And if you define manufacturing more widely like that, to include all the design, manufacturing is not on its back in this country. The second, probably equally important point I'd make is that I think manufacturing in many ways is on the way out. I mean, I think this design stuff, being able to cope in all sorts of areas, not just this, with masses of data, and find relationships in data that then enable you to come up with a medical solution, something which is going to help diagnosis of medical conditions is really powerful, and that's a way of improving the quality of human life has nothing at all to do with having a new ironing board, a new fridge or a new motor car. And so things like motor cars, which are increasingly manufactured without human intervention. There's been very clever coding. Someone says, I want a hybrid, and it's 3 litres and press a button, the car comes through the production line and won't be driven off by a human. It'll be... Now, that's the way in which the world is going. And I think the question that becomes more interesting than how much manufacturing we have is what we're doing improving the quality of people's lives?
Yeah.
If it is, then this country's in a very good position because we're rather good at this sort of thing. What we're not good enough at is commercial exploitation. We have the ideas, we don't. And I think Penny Hydraulics is a very good model in a microcosm of how to have the ideas, think how they can be applied, and then market them.
Yeah. Thinking a bit back to our roots and my grandfather and my father and my uncles that currently run the business with our board of directors, we're still a proudly family-run business, as you know. I just wondered, could you tell us a little bit about your connection to the Penny family, where that all started? And then we could talk a little bit about family business and your experiences working with family businesses to date.
Well, the connection to the family business started with your grandmother. She's a little bit older than me, but we knew each other when we were very young, and we shared aunts and uncles who were not real relatives but lived very close together and grew up as very close friends. I knew your great-grandfather, and I think in Eckington, where everybody was then, there was a very close association among enterprising families, and there weren't a lot. My maternal grandfather was extremely enterprising. Your family, the Wasney family, as well as the Penny family, were extremely enterprising. And I think people with similar interests just in a small community come together. And this is what can happen, I think, in a family business.
Yes.
And bring in people who are respectful of the ability. I can't emphasize enough what a problem there is in two problems in big business. One you've mentioned, it's very hard for a big business to be agile.
Yes.
It's not in this division or it's not in that division. And getting divisions to collaborate. So you have the design people, the manufacturing people, the welding people, the marketing people. I think in Penny Hydraulics you can all sit around the table and fix it.
Yes.
Very hard in a divisional structure in a big company. But the other problem of a big company, which is listed on the stock exchange, is the pressure to perform in the short term.
Yes.
And the focus is very much on earnings this quarter. Now, that I think is diminishing. Some people like me are campaigning to reduce it, but it's a long, slow slog. And this is one of the reasons why family business in some countries in Europe, above all Germany, continues to be so significant.
Yes.
And the Germans are a great model. They have lots of companies, like Penny Hydraulics, some much bigger, some about the same size. And I don't think the Germans will lightly abandon the family ownership form, because it has all these advantages. Nimble, it's a nice working atmosphere. If your family, I mean, of course families can be together and not get on, but if families can be together and get on, huge premium in terms of the value additive contribution those relationships can make.
Absolutely.
Because everyone's trusted.
Yes, yeah, I agree, 100%. So we've ridden through some challenging times. It's not always been straightforward for the business, most notably coming through the recession. Now, we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. We've got Brexit to consider. 10% of our business revenue is from exports outside the UK to other countries within the European Union. So we may have challenging times ahead. We're going to close on this question. What tips would you give to the future leaders of this business?
Well, before I answer that specific question, I'd say that for a business like this, there are plenty of things to worry about. Worry is only useful if it's constructive, so worry constructively. I wouldn't worry about Brexit, whatever you and I might think about all that, and how appallingly incompetently the negotiations appear to be going on both sides. I think for a business that is nimble, agile, smart, can adapt quickly, whatever the Brexit outcome ain't going to make a lot of difference. So that's a thing not to worry about. I think there are some things that I would identify as things that you just cleave to as long-term sort of values. This is how Penny Hydraulics does things. I mean, the most critical, which you can't pull a lever and deliver it, the most critical thing in any business like this is being really attentive to the way you deal with one another within the business. That's more important than the way you deal with customers. Because if you don't have relationships of trust within the business, you're never going to look after customers properly. So recognise the importance of trust within the businesses, and that's a permanent, everlasting quality. If you lose it, it's very, very damaging. Much easier to lose than to reconstitute or to rebuild. The second thing I'd emphasise is to be as attentive as you currently are. I think I'd do more at it, actually, as you customise product for really very special requirement, nuclear industry or MES lifts or whatever it is. I do think you're going to need more apprenticed types who are bright young people. They may or may not have a university degree. Frankly, for me, that don't matter very much. I mean, the deficiency in this country is of apprentices who've had the opportunity to have 2 days a week at Chesterfield Tech or the University of Derby or Hallam or whatever it is, and 3 or 4 days a week on the shop floor, being mentored by the very experienced team you've got here. And I think if you can have people like that, nurture them. You lose some to other employers, but if they go and they're good leavers in a good atmosphere, good spirit, they'll either want to come back or will ensure that business comes to us, or we can use them.
You've made that connection.
You know, you've made a connection. So I sometimes think I've lost lots of people. At the end of the day, if they're good people, it's a compliment, because other people want to poach good people. But your job is to make sure you have an abundance of good people, and then have depth in the bench, so that if someone who's critical goes, you've got someone who's ready to take over.
That's very sound
That's
advice.
management.
That's very sound advice. Thank you very much once again for your time, David. We're so honoured to have you here.
Very happy to be here.